Hello, vinyl community. How are you? I'm Gary. This is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Thanks for tuning in. I want to do a contest entry video as a sign of showing support for the channel, and that would be Mama's Records. This is for Russ. He is basically celebrating the fact of that he got to 200 subscribers. Just trying to thank the vinyl community for the support. So it's not really a push to get somewhere. It's just more of a thank you. So I'm cool with that. I really like Russ. I like his channel. He is very knowledgeable and has very eclectic tastes. I really like. I get his vinyl finds are a hoot because I know, like, I don't know, my Chris Profi and myself, we kind of joke around about how some of our vinyl finds are, it might be here's whatever, Anne Murray, and then here's Black Sabbath, whatever, that type of thing. But now Russ, his vinyl finds are really all over the place. He'll have some pretty odd things on there, but yet he also has no problem with the classics. And I like that. I like somebody who, doesn't just try to, always show something obscure. He's got no problem also talking about, AC/DC Back in Black and how great that is. So I think it's cool. Anyway, here's his contest. Let's get on to it. I wore this shirt kind of in support of his channel. It's the Ramones Too Tough to Die shirt. Not only is that one of my favorite Ramones album, but it's got the song on there, Mama, Mama, Mama's Boy. So, Mama's Boy, Mama's Records, that's the tie-in. Here we go. Here's the prompts. The first is to show an album that has a perfect B-side. Now, normally for an album to have a perfect B-side, it's got to be a pretty damn good album, right? Because most of the time, the A side seems to be better than the B side. So I picked this one. This is Defenders of the Faith by Judas Priest. This is from 1984. And the B side, I think, is great. You've got Love Bites. I love that song. Eat Me Alive. Some Heads Are Gonna Roll. Night Comes Down, which is a different mood, different type of song there. And then Heavy Duty, which leads into Defenders of the Faith. The last two are combined. It's a over-the-top song that I love. I love the second side. This album is so good. I'm not even sure which side's better, A or B, because this is a 5-star album to me. And so that's my pick for perfect B-side, because that's perfect in my mind. Next, he said, pick an album from a band that on their sophomore album, so their second album, they didn't hit that sophomore slump, right? A lot of bands, the first album would be really good, and the second one's kind of like, Well, here's one I didn't think that they really let down, and this is Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy. This is a solid album, a solid sophomore release. You got You're in Love, Never Use Love, Lay It Down, Give It All, Closer to My Heart, Between the Eyes. Closer to My Heart, Between the Eyes, kind of a different sound. What You Give Is What You Get. You Got Me on the Line, You Should Know by Now. And Dangerous, but Worth the Risk. I think these are really catchy songs. They could definitely write a good hook. The production is pretty much the same as the first album, and Warren D. Martini is got a lot of great guitar work on here. It's got a iconic album cover from the 80s, so that's no sophomore slump there from Rat. Now, he also had pick a perfect double album. So I picked this one for a couple reasons. One, because I think it's a perfect double album. I think it's one of my favorite albums of all time. And I also picked it because it seems to kind of take a lot of shit anymore in the vinyl community. I've noticed that a lot of people, it's like they want to kind of sound cool a little bit. And when they put this album down, I am going with The Wall by Pink Floyd. I just noticed it seems like kind of a trend right now in the vinyl community where people want to go, kind of like, uh, well, I know it's controversial, but I'm just not that much of a fan of The Wall. It doesn't have enough pretty David Gilmour guitar work in it. Some of the songs are very bare boned and blah, 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 and all that stuff. I don't know. I guess I'm a big enough Pink Floyd fan that to me, it's why Pink Floyd is so special and so amazing and above other bands is because of the music and the words, the message that they always had. I kind of feel like some people who say they really like Pink Floyd, but all they care about is the music and they don't get the message and the words behind it, aren't really as big a Pink Floyd fans. I'm not to insult anybody, but I think Pink Floyd, they also had fantastic lyrics. So you can't take Roger Waters out of that mix. That whole combination of those guys were fantastic, and especially the combination of Roger Waters and David Gilmour. Now, yeah, this one is more Roger Waters led, but it's still a fantastic album. It musically might not reach some of the heights of some of the earlier albums, but it does definitely have its moments on here. Comfortably Numb is one of their best songs of all time. And I also feel like the songs that people criticize on this album, uh, Vera, Send the Boys Back Home, that kind of stuff, to me, those all are part of this story. They are essential to this album. This album, to me, has so much emotional depth to it. It's just amazing that Roger Waters could come up with this character of Pink, and you are sympathetic, you are empathetic to this character, but at the same time, the flaws of the character are laid bare for you to see. There's also parts about the character that you're like, oh my God, he's horrible. His self-pitying, his self-loathing aspects like that come in to it, his drug abuse, things like that you don't want to talk about, but it's great because that's what we are as people. We are all, none of us are perfect, right? We have things about us that are good, but we all have, these bad things about us, this side that we need to work on as people. A lot of times people don't want to admit that, right? And everything is laid out there. It's just a fantastic story. I just think it's brilliant. I just think The Wall is a brilliant album, and when people don't get that, I just, everybody has their own opinion. I get it. Anyway, next up is name two channels. Give a shout out to two channels that have under 200 subscribers. So I got some wonderful channels that are like that, but I'm going to keep it down. I don't want to put a whole bunch on there. First off, the Ralstonian Report. That's Steve over there. He is like a blues expert, man. He talks about a lot of albums and artists. He ranks albums from a lot of blues artists. And it's cool because he still goes to concerts. He still gets into that and he talks about that. And I don't want to pigeonhole him because he's not just blues. He likes rock and roll too. He's a big fan of Joan Jett, so I think that's really cool. So the Ralstonian Report. Next up is Mike's Got the Spins. Mike is a great guy. I love his channel. He hasn't been around that long, so if you go over to Mike's Got the Spins, you can catch up on everything he's done in a short amount of time. His videos are always entertaining. I always watch everything that he does. And then I'm going to throw in one extra, and I'm just kind of putting this under the, kind of blows my mind because I didn't realize that he was actually under 200 subscribers. But it's Pops and Clicks. That's Yanni, and he is from Sweden. Yeah, I'm from Sweden, but you're wearing lederhosen. That's a line from a movie. Anyway, Yanni is a great guy, wonderful dude. I just like him a lot, and he's got a lot of musical knowledge. Shows all kinds of albums that I guarantee if you're not from Sweden, you've probably never seen before. And he's just a nice guy. And I don't care about the whole subscriber count thing. I really don't. You know, there's channels that have, you know, 5,000 subscribers and they're, you know, whatever. And there's channels that have 100 subscribers that are fantastic. Whatever you like, you know, I kind of go by the person too when it comes to that. So the subscriber counts, you know, don't get hung up on that stuff. Anyway, hey, here's to you, Russ. You've got a great channel, and all the success to you, buddy. And I hope everybody is well and doing good. So I'm Gary. This is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Until the next time, my friends, I will see you down the road.